welcome to another episode of
Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy.
I'm Andy Vargo, and this is my bestie,
Cheri Hardman. We decided to do something.
Yeah?
Andy Vargo and I will do anything for attention.
Yes, we will.
I'll tell you what I did. My nails, my hair, and my nails, my hair.
You gotta give yourself credit for all the things you do.
I'll tell you what I did earlier, later.
Now I don't know when it'll happen.
Earlier, later. And we're here to discuss my nails, my hair, and
Being the best at no matter what it is that you're doing. Now I don't know when it'll happen.
all right, we'll find out. Anyway, hey, it's Thursday morning.
It is Thursday morning edition. How are you, Cheri?
I'm good. How are you?
I am excellent. Excited to be here. Happy to be visiting with you. It's rare to have a morning chat unless we're doing we do our morning catch-ups, which we did earlier this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this is the first time I've showered in like 3 days, so take it all in. This is some clean air.
I thought it smelled fresher outside.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I've been taking this medication for a while that makes it so I don't get any, like my hair never gets oily, my face doesn't get oily. It's like kind of an acne medication is one of its uses. And so it's just dried my head up, so I never feel dirty.
Interesting.
And, so everything else is dry. Like when you get old, you kind of quit producing as much stuff.
Yeah.
Everywhere, so it's easier to feel clean when you're unshowered. So
I see. That makes sense.
I know it might sound gross, but I don't stink. I smell great right now.
Biology lesson for us all.
Yeah. So there's that. I also want to say that I am doing, when you're a big person, especially like my age, our mothers always told us not to let our fat flap fly, and that you should always cover that up and wear an overshirt. So, but today things are changing. There's body positivity, and I'm trying to actually be. I know this sounds trying to actually be a role model by lately just wearing a tank top with no overshirt.
And just being okay.
And just being okay with it. I'm not wearing a push-up bra. I'm just wearing a sports bra, and I'm just being comfortably me.
That's good. My friend posted the most beautiful post today. If you're not following her, Gwendolyn K. I don't know if you followed her, but she's a hypnosis, one of the hypnosists that was friends of Jim Kellner, and that's how I got connected with her. But her post today was always about never being tiny, always being bigger, and now she's saying she's happy to take up as much space in the world, spread her arms fly, do the cherry bombs into the cannonballs. She's a cannonball into life, and if you don't like it, get your own pool. But it was just a beautiful thing because she talked about used to wanting to kind of feel like she took up a lot of space, but try to hide. And now she's like, I want to be in the front of the line. I want to swing my arms right and dance around. It was beautiful the way she wrote it. I'm not good, but
yeah, exactly. So I'm not only taking up space, but I'm showing my armpits too. And my waddle's not that bad. I've seen worse, It's ugly, but it's me.
It's right.
And that's what it looks like to be a 61-year-old woman, letting her flag flaps fly.
Wow, you're only 61?
Shut up. I hate you so much. All right. So
I love you. Actually, you seem a lot younger than 61. So
it's too late for that. So I had something bad happen to me this week, and it kind of affected you.
Well,
in the way that my best friend died. My best friend that I've been friends with since 10th grade when we were 15. So that's 45 years we've been friends.
Yeah.
And he has been ill for a while, but it's really weird because it's like you know, I saw him. I went over just a couple days before he died and saw him, and came home and said it's bad, but I still didn't know it was 2 days later he was going to be dead.
Yeah.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
because
the
when
thing
I
is, I
talked to you
said,
the last couple times, he was you had sounded less worried than, you know, months ago when it was first.
right.
Yeah, it was like,
Well, I guess it's because he didn't actually. I mean, he said I don't want to die, and he did say this is like end stages or whatever. But we never really talked about like the moment of death, and I thought maybe as close as we were that we would, but I didn't want to bring it up.
yeah.
Anyway, it affected you just in the way that all of a sudden I started getting. I said my best friend died, and all of a sudden these people like, it's not Andy, is it? Like they were worried about you. So
Which I appreciate.
yeah,
And the thing is, I have same, like, I think similar to you, we have best friends in different areas of life, right? It's like Laura's my best friend from high school and from, you know, like reconnecting after that. And I different people who I would call all of them. So then it's like sometimes I'm like, it feels degrading to say, well, one of my closest friends, or, you know.
Right. I mean, and I don't feel like, you know, to me, you're a bestie.
Right.
Yeah. My best friend, I wouldn't call you my best friend. I would call you my bestie though, because you're always there for me on a daily basis. We do tell each other all our stuff.
Yeah, but you have that history with your best friend.
Right. We went to high school together. He was there when both my kids were born. One of our kids, so we have the same, they have the same birthday. His daughter was born on Andrew's birthday. So, you know, sometimes though in life, I don't want to speak ill of the dead. Sometimes I had to take a break from him because he was a little intense.
Well, and that's how friendships are, right? It's like you learned and you know people well enough that you can take that break and then pick up where you left off.
Right. And it was always like, even when we were mad at each other and not speaking, I knew that if I was abandoned on the road, my car broke down in the middle of the night, I could call him and he would come. You know, he was really the most loyal person I've ever met. And he was so cute because he said the other day, when you met Dave, I knew I wouldn't have to worry as much about you anymore.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was just a really sweet thing, you know. But anyway, so just that coming off, like I really have been hit with a double whammy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I don't even think I've really fully realized or let myself feel what I want to feel about Scott, because I'm still just numb from Noah dying, you know. And the thing is that's kind of nice is that those two were really close. Noah and Scott were super close. Like they talk to each other way more often than Scott and I talk to each other. And so usually I would have to ask Noah about what's going on with Scott in the recent months. So knowing that somehow they're together or feeling hopefully that they're together somewhere makes me feel a little bit better.
Sure.
But
and it's interesting when we have people pass that we're very close to, but we don't interact with every day. I feel like some of the grieving hits when the time comes that we would interact with them. Like when that thing happens where you're like, oh, well,
call them? Yes.
Yeah.
Like the other day, this is the thing too, is that, and I know I've teased you about
this. I know exactly where this is going. I've been afraid to open any pictures you sent me.
No, I'm not going to send you any poop pictures. My son and Scott were the two people that like we had a poop relationship. I don't think Scott ever no. Scott would send me other people's shit pictures, but there were people that I would send poop pictures. Like if you did something really impressive, or like if I pooped my pants or something, you know, I might take a picture of that just because I knew they would laugh. You know, I have and my husband, I'm sorry, he doesn't like it, but he sees it in real life. Like I do have to call him in there sometimes, but hardly ever, because he doesn't like it. It's no fun to do it to someone who doesn't like it. And they're the only two people that thought that was funny. And the other day I ate a bunch of black licorice.
Uh-huh.
And when you eat a lot of black licorice, your poop turns electric green. And first time I saw that happen to Andrew, I freaked out. But now I know.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, it was picture worthy, and I didn't take a picture because I had no one to send it to. And I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but
We all have our own.
yeah. So it's going to be those kind of things when I'm going to think, oh, I would love to tell Scott this, that he's not there, you know.
Yeah. And I think everybody can relate to that, whether it's a joke you see or a meme that pops up or a show you're watching. You're like, oh, this would be the thing I would tell somebody
Right.
about. And then,
But I'm really thankful that just in the last couple weeks before he went, I was able to see him twice.
yeah.
And mostly it was just venting. And he needed to do that for whatever reason. So I was glad I was there to listen to him and hug him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry for his daughters and his grandchildren.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, my mom called and said, is there going to be some kind of a service? And I'm like, well, I doubt it because he would hate that.
Oh.
He would hate it. He would hate that I'm talking about him. He would hate that I used his name, you know, like, so it's just kind of fun. So, but he's not here and he can't stop me. So I'd like to, you know, I want to honor him by talking about him because I loved him very, very much.
Yeah. That's
so
fair.
I don't want to start like on a downer, but you know, that needed to be said. And
well, and you've had, like you said, you've just had a double whammy back to back the last little while.
I got 5 days bereavement from my job. So I'm off until Monday. I'm off. I go back to work on Tuesday and really don't want to, like, oh, I'm wet here. I cried. Wrong eye. Like I really at this point need a sugar daddy so I could just stay home. So
okay. So
I hope I can find one that will let me just live my life and stay married to Dave and just give me money. So
yeah, you just need the checks coming in.
yeah, I just need to, So, but that brings me to the other thing that we've already talked about. That someone asked me if I wanted to do a comedy show about grief,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been tossing it through my head the last couple of days, and I'm not ready for that. I decided I need to let her know, but it's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
And I definitely tell her next time she does it to call me.
Mm-hmm.
So that can give me some time to.
It just even puts the thought in your head that there's a place where you know people will be expecting that. So you gives yourself the freedom to work on processing that through humor.
Right. Because, you know, some people just they don't want to hear that word at all, grief or death or anything like it. So, and I might be even one of them normally. So, what's up with you? Oh, yeah. What's up with you?
Well, just a whirlwind. I got engaged last night. So,
my God, I heard about that.
Yeah, I mean, the guy touched my elbow and said he liked my shirt. So I think that means engaged.
Sure.
Still waiting to find out his name, phone number, and if he's gay. But minor details. You know, these relationships move fast. No, that's when we get into chatting about stuff. That's something I want to bring up. But I have keynote coming up in a couple of weeks, and this is really the time where I sit down and really work through make sure my outline is in place, start kind of rehearsing and thinking through which stories I'm going to tell, timing out how it comes together. And I'm challenging myself with the next couple of keynotes to start adding in some audio visual because I haven't used any slides or anything. And so I don't know if I'll do that on this one. I'm gonna piece it together as if I'm going to and see how that plays. And if it's distracting, I won't. You know, just like even like just 5 slides that here and there I just throw a picture in.
Just to change the scenery up a little bit, you know.
Yeah. And people are different types of learners. I have, you know, my Toastmasters tonight, and I have a speech I'm giving using some props that I'm gonna, it sounds cheesy to say that, but I'm gonna do a little demonstration to illustrate what I'm talking about, and so you can physically see something. And so that's I'm challenging myself to put different elements into my talking. And while I'm very confident in what I do and captivating the audience, I just know that you can always grow. And so I think the chance to take it to the next level with some little things here and there is fun for me to try, because I have the elements of speaking down. And not that I don't want to sound cocky when I say that, but I can deliver a speech, I can be confident on stage, I can captivate the audience, but there's always more to take it to the next level. So that's what I'm working on right now, but pulling some more of those things in. So I'm really getting ready for that talk coming up. And then this Sunday is the Tacoma Art Market. It's at Dystopian State Brewery, which is just right in downtown. And there's going to be, I think, about 20 vendors there. So I'm going to be there slumming my books and my shirts and doing all that good stuff. So
I did a show there once. I like that place.
Yeah, it's a cool venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Tomorrow night I'm doing, I looked up how to say it. And of course, there were two different pronunciations.
Okay.
But let's just say I'm going to go with Vinifera in Auburn. And headlining that one. So I'm like, gotta practice my 45 up a little bit. But I like doing those longer sets.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. So I'm excited to do that. And then next week, excuse me, you know how I am. Once I start talking, I start yawning.
Yeah, the excitement's really coming through.
Next week, I'm doing the disabled list.
Yeah, that'll be a great show.
And I guess we're like opening up like a film festival. Like it's the comedy show first and then that. So
how cool.
Yeah, and so I'm Andy Awancio is on it. And I forgot the other person. But they're not the typical people that are usually on the show with me. So I'm excited. It's going to be a different thing. Northwest Film Forum, they're always super nice to us. I have a secret parking spot that I know where I can park and not,
yeah.
Because that's Capitol Hill is kind of not that car friendly. So
right.
So I'm looking forward to that. So those are the next couple of things for me.
That's exciting.
And I do have a game today.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
Prompted by our conversation. Andy and I got together at Poodle Dog, our spot. I guess I probably shouldn't.
Our secret getaway.
And now all our fans are going to follow us there.
I know it's hard enough. The other day we had that guy heckling us in the parking lot.
Oh, when Andy was practically humping me in the parking lot. Okay.
I was excited to see you. And Cheri has this joke where she talks, if you haven't seen it, she talks about having sex on her scooter. And I was like, how's this work? And so I started to hop on the scooter between her and the seat. And this guy's like, now, kids, or something like that.
It's like, oh, if you only knew. All right, so we're going to do a quiz. I'm going to do like a little quiz with you. I don't have any theme music or anything exciting like that. But let me share my screen.
Okay. Boom, 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 boom. This is our theme music because there is nothing playing. Boom, 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 boom. There we go.
All right, let me find it.
Oh, that's a bad view of me. Okay. Andy's gay checkup. This looks fun.
I think there's only 4 or 5 questions, okay?
Okay.
I should have made like a little gay theme song. All right. Now, just for anyone who doesn't typically watch us, I tease Andy a lot about not knowing pop culture references, and these are gay pop culture references. All right, ready?
Although I'm learning as we go, so.
That's true. You're going to learn something today.
It may get harder.
Oops. Which one of these people is John Waters, A or B?
So I know that it's A because I had to Google this the other day because I didn't know who John Waters was. And someone referred to him in a bar and I had to look up who it was. That's the only reason I know this. But this is new information this week. A, John Waters.
Correct. Do you know who B is?
Is that Lenny Bruce?
No, it's Harvey Milk.
Harvey Milk. Oh, okay. I know
You
who
know,
Harvey Milk is. I just didn't
okay.
recognize.
Okay, well, good.
I watched that movie on Netflix.
Oh, good job. All right, ready? Next
Yep.
question. Which one of these drag queens is divine? Is named divine? They're all divine, but which one is named divine?
I have no idea. I'm going to go with the
A,
with
B, C, or D? What? You're going to go with
I'm gonna
what?
go with B, but that's total guess. I have no idea.
You're correct. That is B.
Okay, but that was a total guess. I don't recognize any
That
of
is
them.
divine from John Waters movies. Over here, oh freak, I forgot her name. But this one here is Trixie Mattel, and
Okay.
this down here is Bob the Drag Queen.
Okay.
And you should probably, you're going to hear about Bob the Drag Queen because they do stand up and stuff. And they're, where did I see they were going to be? So you're probably going to run into that person in your life. Okay. Who's this?
I don't know, but I'll take his phone number.
This is Billy Eichner.
Okay, who's Billy Eichner?
Star of Billy on the Street and the show Difficult People and American Horror Story.
Okay, I've heard of a couple
He's
of those.
been in all of those things.
I haven't watched any of them. So is he gay?
Yes.
Okay, Billy Eichner.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Eichner. Okay.
What is the new gay movie starring Billy Eichner that is coming out, I think, September 30th, called?
Okay,
Is it
I have no idea. I'm just gonna say dudes.
It's Bros.
Bros.
I think this is the last question, but I saw a commercial for this last night. It looks fucking fantastic. So
okay, so the only of those that I got right was one because I had to Google it this week because I didn't know it, and the other one was a complete guess. Just I don't want you to all think I'm too gay. That's what I'm saying.
all right.
I don't want to ruin my reputation by getting 2 out of 4 right.
Yeah, well, I wondered if you would look up John, if you had, or if you were going to look up John Waters. I thought, well, that might.
Well, I had looked him up, I think, before we talked about it. Like, I didn't know who it was when I was at the bar, and then someone said it, so I had to look him up.
So you've seen Hairspray, so you know that, and you know that that's one of his movies.
Yeah, okay. I've
that
seen
he
that
made
years ago while I was straight.
And Crybaby
I don't.
with Johnny Depp. No, I never seen that. Serial Mom.
Oh, I've seen Serial Mom. That's a good movie.
Yeah, so
I haven't seen that forever.
yeah. Anyway, so there's a big gay quiz.
Okay.
What now?
Well, what do you want to talk about, Cheri? I know what I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I had something interesting happen this week. Speaking of gay love.
Okay.
And this is not to sound like conceited or stuck on myself. It's just being in a different headspace. But I had 3 different things happen within a few days where I was in a situation with someone kind of hitting on me, and I really wasn't interested. And all good-looking guys, all different types or styles or whatever, but people I'd be like, okay. But I was able to be like, you know what? You're not the full package, and I don't feel like pursuing this because we happen to be in the same place and you are either had a drink or 2 and are feeling a little frisky. Like, if you really want to like hang out, then let's actually plan to go out to dinner or something like that.
Right.
And there was one like that. There was another where we happened to be in the same place and we were having a fine conversation. But like the one guy I was really having a great conversation with, offered to buy me a drink, and I just said, I'm not drinking tonight, so this isn't like, I would take you up on that down the road, but I'm not rejecting you. I just am not drinking tonight because I'm trying to not drink just because I'm out.
Right.
A lot of what I do is in a brewery or a bar, and I've had to learn that just because I'm in those places doesn't mean I need to drink alcohol. And so I said, well, tonight's not a drinking night for me, but but then afterwards I was like, the things that the person said they were interested in, like we weren't even talking about dating or anything, but I couldn't tell what the vibe was. But even if it was, I was just like, I wouldn't even pursue it because all of their interests don't line up with anything that I'm interested in as far as like, and we don't have to have all the same activities, but it was like way opposite ends of the spectrum. And everything was nothing I'd be interested in doing with them, or even like waiting for, I'd be annoyed rolling my eyes waiting for them to be finished with that. And so I just know to not even pursue that.
Right.
And then I had another one, and then I had another one that was a similar, like kind of coming on a little stronger. And I was like, you're cute and everything, but I don't feel the vibe for the whole package. And I was able to just say, you don't have to take whatever's thrown at you. And that kind of felt good to be in that headspace rather than go, even a year ago, I would have thought more like, well, maybe I should give this a try. Maybe I can make it work. Well, they're interested in me, and I do think they're cute, so there must be something there. But if you're looking for something with more quality, you have to be able to have that restraint when those opportunities come up. And so that felt good, but it was also just kind of like, this is interesting.
My little boy is growing up. No, I do know that when I was single, that sometimes them being attracted to me was the only reason I was going out with somebody. And it's like, that's dumb,
Right.
So yeah, I think that's just a evolution of, that just means you are a step closer to having a real relationship.
I guess so. And like the last couple of days, I've put a couple of joke posts out there about smiling at a guy and whatever. But honestly, like I was looking back, I was like, well, that makes me sound really like I really am in that mindset, but I really am not. Like I'm able to clearly post those as a joke, walk away from the situation, and honestly not be stuck in that space. It's more a reflection of where I've been. But because I did have a guy last night, I was at the bar. I'm looking across the bar and he's sitting by the jukebox, and I was over at the end of the bar. So it's like, 20 feet away.
Right.
And I just had been kind of I like keeping an eye on him all night long. I don't know if checking him out, but I had seen him, and he's been there before, and I couldn't remember this, but apparently I'd given him one of my stickers before, because I always keep Own Your Awkward stickers in my pocket. So whenever anybody says like, they like my shirt or that's cool or what is it, I'm like, hey, here, you want a sticker? So I've been trying to be really good about always having those with me. And but anyway, so I see him across the bar, and I had forgotten about that. And I look, and he looks back at me, and he's like, he does one of these like a little half wave and smile, and I was like, oh dang. So then I'm like all blushing. And that was my joke about, so now we're dating or whatever.
Right.
But then later he was like, he touched my elbow and was like, I really like that shirt, and I still have your sticker in my wallet. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So now we are engaged is my joke. But in reality, like, that would be somebody like, I know nothing about them. I don't even know their name. I don't know, other than that they go to the same event that I was going to. Like, I have no idea what other interests. So, but I'm better about being like, there's an interest and it's worth exploring. And then when you explore enough, you decide, okay, well, you know what, I don't need to go down this path anymore. Or the more we explore, maybe we're going to go further. And that's kind of where my headspace is. But I also am not actively out there. Like, I'm not purposely going out trying to meet somebody. I'm not on any dating apps because I've got other things that I'm focused on right now. And if I happen to meet somebody like this, then great, I'll explore it. I'll go on a date. I can make time for that. But I'm not gonna make time to sit there and dig through piles and piles of applications and be like, oh, like I gotta fill this position. Like, no, I'd rather spend that energy on growing my business right now. So,
well, good for you.
Well, thanks.
That's a good thing. This is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about something right now. Where can person find like a full service gas station where someone could put gas in my car?
Well, I know there is one which is out of your way, but there is one on Bridgeport and 40th in University Place.
Mm.
I don't know if there are, I don't know if like Google would show like where they would like
I've
there's
tried to look it up before. Problem is, and okay, maybe this is a guy thing, or maybe it's just a Dave thing. We go on it, and I want you to be honest. We go on a trip, and we're going to Spokane, right? And so we're stopping. Okay, so we started out with 3/4 of a tank of gas. So then we get to wherever Ellensburg, where we ate dinner, and there's a certain amount of gas left. Now, I personally would get gas because we're already stopped. I would just go ahead and fill it up. But he wants to see like, oh no, I think we can make it. I think we can make it. And if not, we'll stop somewhere. I'm like, first of all, there's not that many stops on the way to Eastern Washington.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of
Secondly,
long
we're right here. Why are you not? So then he brings my car home and no freaking gas in it. And I can't, I mean, I can, but not very, like, it's really hard for me to put, and now I got to be somewhere and I have no gas in my car.
Yeah.
So is that a guy thing to try to see how far you can get on the gas without get up?
I guess for me, I kind of do a little of both because I do push it, but it's just out of laziness. Like I'll stop at the gas station when I get close to the bottom. However, like if I am on a road trip, I religiously stop in Ellensburg and fill my tank of gas because I know how that stretch is. So that's just my thing, is that like Ellensburg is a nice halfway point for me to get out, stretch my legs, put gas in the car, maybe grab a snack depending on where I'm at in my schedule, and then not have to get back, not have to stop again until I'm in Spokane. Excuse me. But
yeah, so this happens every time, and it's just like, it's irritating. I'm irritated by it because now I need help and I don't know how to get gas. So
how far can you make it on your tank?
Well, the last time I went, I went to Tacoma and back when I had 1/8 of a tank. So
do you have 1/8 of a tank now?
Probably not, because I went to Tacoma and back.
Oh, that was on this
That
thing.
was the before.
Okay.
And I'm like, do you think we can make it to Tacoma? Oh yeah. So yeah, no, there's that. So I'll look it up again. But if anybody knows of somewhere where I can go to get gas,
Federal Way-ish.
in Federal Way.
Federal Way would be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if some of the I don't know. I'm trying to think on that. I know there's a Shell station in University Place that has full serve, and it's on the corner of 40th and Bridgeport, but that's a ways out of the way because it's also.
I think I can make it there. So I'm gonna have to just do it myself, I guess. All right, well, that's not gonna happen again. Let's just say. Yeah. I've been trying to cook stuff up, so that we have different. So I made some spaghetti, but now today I need to put it in the sealed vacuum pack, whatever freezer thing, so that we'll later on have spaghetti.
Smart.
We got all that leftover teriyaki from the funeral that we've been eating on, all in different freezer bags. So it's kind of nice. I think it'll be nice when we have like 3 or 4 different things to choose from and not have to.
Yeah, that is one thing I miss about having a full-size refrigerator and freezer, is that I would have 5 or 6 frozen options in there because I would just make a batch of whatever I was making. And sometimes, if the kids came over, I may have 1 serving or 2 servings left. And if they didn't, I would have, the whole thing. And so I might get 5 or 6 meals out of it, plus whatever I ate that night. And so, so I do miss just having those homemade TV dinners, like I called them.
I remember you used to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, it was healthier, it was cheaper, and it was nice because I could have a home cooked meal just by heating it up.
Right.
So I may get creative. I have room in my freezer to do some of that, but not like I could do a couple things, but not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what else I have in my freezer. So
Right.
it's like option A or this option. I can't do both, but yeah, that's really good because there's something about planning. Like sometimes when I leave the house and I'm leaving and I don't grab a banana or an apple or lunch, I'm like, I'm planning to not eat healthy today because I'm gonna have to buy something on the road. So I'm putting myself in that position, and we know we're gonna have nights where it's hard to cook, or we're gonna be tired, or we just don't have the time. And so the more we can get ahead of that and plan on, okay, what are the reasons that my life is the way it is? If it's I don't have time, well, if I have 6 hours of time on Sunday, then maybe that's a good time to cook, knowing that I won't have the 45 minutes I need on Wednesday night, and then I can just heat
Right.
something up. But that takes a lot of,
Well, and
analysis.
Dave and Andrew, well, let's just say Dave. Andrew doesn't like to eat anything except chicken nuggets and fries mostly, but
Mhm.
Dave doesn't really eat leftovers. And I'll eat a pot of spaghetti till it's gone. Just eat it for lunch and dinner, lunch and dinner. It doesn't
Yeah,
bother me
I'm
at
the
all.
same way. I'll just eat whatever.
Yeah, but he doesn't like it this way that second half of stuff doesn't get wasted.
Hmm. He doesn't mind eating the leftovers if they've been frozen, and he just wants a variety from day to day. Is that the deal?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not about it has to be.
Even though he eats the same thing for lunch exactly every day.
Hmm. People
So,
have their things.
oh yeah, he's got his weirdness of food weird. My only food weirdness is that I eat too much of it,
Yeah, I'm guilty of that myself. I am I have 3 family weddings coming up next year, and would like to be the hot X. So I am gonna start buffing up, working out. I gotta get some things in control, and I'm really excited about my new fitness level and journey that I'm on, which I'm convincing myself is a thing.
Uh-huh. When was the last time you worked out?
I'm starting today.
Oh, okay, good.
Or maybe tomorrow.
I know. Every time I'm on TikTok, there's this thing called Thick Fitness, like THIQ, and
Uh-huh.
they're exercising in chairs.
Okay.
And I just sit there while I'm eating my cereal, going, "Oh, I gotta stop. I gotta do that someday." But I never
Arm lift.
I've stopped to do a couple one, but yeah, that's my.
Well, and like when we were shut down for the pandemic and I was working at Odd Otter, and all we were doing was takeout. So you'd have like 10 customers would come in during the day and they'd get a growler filled or get cans to go, but they'd be there for 3 minutes, and the rest of the day, for 8 hours, you're just standing at the counter. And I got a lot done. Like I finished writing my book, I got it edited, I took certifications online, and I did all the research for doing my trademark. Like I got a lot of computer work done. One of the other things that I did was I did laps around the tap room. Like I would set a timer for like 20 minutes, and I'd be like, okay, if I do 20 minutes, then I know I at least got a mile in, on the generous side. And I would do push-ups on the counter, and I would grab empty kegs and do squats and stuff. And I was actually seeing a little difference, and it's harder to do that when you have customers there.
Right.
But I'm trying to find little things like that I can add into my daily thing, because I'm not the kind of person to get up and go to the gym at 6 a.m. every morning. I don't care about it enough. And maybe if I get to a certain level, I will have that desire. But like one of the things I did is I put my dumbbells next to the couch. So I'm sitting on the couch, I can at least just lift some weights and get some exercise in. And
Right.
but
That's like when I'm in here, I try to remember to use this thing. What do you call this thing that I use? Where I'm like pedaling under my desk.
oh yeah, a hot stepper.
I don't know about that, but it's a key called a QB, but I don't know. So anyway, I try to do this, but then I get distracted,
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I'm like, oh, why am I not doing that? So
Yeah, or I'll like the other day I could have stopped at Otter on my way home because I needed to do something there, and instead I drove home and then walked down there because walking there and back is 2 miles. So I got that in.
you do a lot of walking, and you do your runs with Laura too.
We haven't done those for a while though.
Uh,
Like we used to do it we used to do it almost every week, and then life got busy and traffic's a mess, and people have other distractions, so it's been hard to keep up. So
right.
and she's been training for marathons, so she is on a regimented, like, this is what I'm running, and I'm like, okay, well, I got a quarter of that. It's like catch me on the way back, which is what we did last time. She was on a long run. She did like 7 or 8 miles, and I think I did like 3 or 4, and it was one of those like, okay, I'm gonna go down about as far as I want to go, and I'll let you keep going and turn around and catch me on the way back. But which worked fine because she's runs alone all the time. It's not like she's
Right.
always got to have somebody with her. But yeah, I do need to get back to doing more of that.
I want you to know that when you type in full service gas station, it just gives you every gas station.
I love that you're doing that right now.
ADA assistance at, okay. Well, I might come up with some valuable information that somebody else could use.
Very true.
Stations that offer both self and full service people with disabilities might have no choice. Require self-service gas stations to provide equal access to their customers with disabilities. Well, that doesn't help me either.
Yeah, I have seen people.
I've seen like a little wheelchair sign, but how in the hell are you supposed to let them know that you need help?
Which side of the car is your pump on?
The passenger side.
Oh, see, so you can't just pull up and then reach over and push the button and call it, because there's a button to call attendant, but you can't push that if it's on the passenger side.
Well, I've ever seen a button.
Usually there's a little call attendant thing on the pay thing, so that if you have problems, you can call the attendant.
Well, that's the problem, is that getting out of the car.
Right.
It says most gas stations have a blue wheelchair accessible button that you can press if you need assistance if you have a disability. The only problem with this button, where'd it go?
That is good to know, because I didn't know that was a thing, because honestly, you can't be trying to find a gas station all over the state that's going to be 50 miles away that happens to be the one that does full service.
Right.
And also you have to pay that much more because full service can be pretty expensive.
I got this, it says that for disabled people, they have to charge the other price. So, because it's not fair that it's not fair that a disabled person has to pay.
Right.
But it looks like there's a place, where you can, it looks like that's going to be expensive, where you can schedule or whatever for them to just come to your house and fill up your car.
Oh yeah, that'd be pricey. But,
well, they're saying that you can just call the gas station attendant, like find this number of the store.
Oh yeah, that's good. A good thing to try.
The only problem with the button is that it's not in reach for many people from their vehicle.
Yeah.
So if you
like, it would be nice.
This world doesn't know how to help people with disabilities. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, that's a good point. 'Cause just putting the button there doesn't do any good if it's not
accessible to me. Right.
I mean, it's like that joke you have about, having someone hop on over to get their help, It's like, okay, here's the help, but good luck getting to it.
I know, we were at a hotel once, and it was like, there was the lobby, and then there was a sign that said, it showed a wheelchair and then ring bell for service, because there were steps, but the bell was gone. There was no bell. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, well.
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, when you know better, you do better. So
True. And I think just knowing that it's possible to just call and say, hey, I need help pumping gas. I have seen people roll their window down, but that puts you in a spot where you're stuck and then you don't know who you're trusting as a stranger,
right.
But
I guess you got to give someone your card, and then you have to give them your PIN.
oh, yeah, because you'd have to pay. I forgot about that piece too. So yeah, you wouldn't want to give a stranger you wouldn't want to say, hey, can you stick this card in for me? And here's, that's not cool. They could just walk away.
Right.
You didn't give them your PIN and just gave them the card. Yeah, this is the thing I think that people miss is, like, sometimes people look at the bigger things and be like, oh, well, we're going to have this in place and we're going to have a ramp and all stuff. But it's like, well, it's the day-to-day things that you have to deal with every single day to, fill gas, to, get in and out of a store, whatever it is, that those are the things that it's like, okay, well, if how you think of every step of the way, the payment, the filling gas.
Because like am I capable of getting my own gas? Yeah. But that's a walk from around my car all the way around the ramp or around the front to the other side, and then have to stand there while you input the stuff and then pump the gas. Like, I can't stand that long. So then I have to get in my car and wait for it to pump.
Yeah.
And then walk back around. I mean, it's possible, but it's asking me to do more than my body's really, I don't want to say capable. It's pushing me to my limit.
Right. Well, and then
I want to be pushed to my limit just to go get fucking gas.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's like, if you've put all that effort out just to put gas in your car,
then you're tired, you want to go back home.
Now what else are you going to be able to do with your day? Yeah. And also, it doesn't matter if you are able or not, because other people wouldn't be able to, may not be able to, like, depending on the situation where it's so the need doesn't matter. Whether or not you're able doesn't change whether or not the need is there for it to be done.
I know. I've thought about making like a video series of just my life on a regular basis. And the only thing, I don't have a cameraman that follows me around all the time yet. To be able to take that footage, because if I'm struggling with something, struggling with getting it on camera is impossible.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, the thing is, sometimes those moments pop up, so you can't always know, oh, I need, hey,
I can tell the story, but it's not the same as actually showing it. Like when you go into a bathroom and the door opens into the bathroom, how am I supposed to shut the door now that my wheelchair's in here? I can't.
Yeah. And that's that same kind of thing we were talking about. Like, someone's checking the box saying, oh, the rails are on the door, it's a wider door, but did you actually try to use it the way the way it needs to be used?
I've literally thought about offering myself as a consultant to businesses.
You should. That would
to
be
show
awesome.
them like how their stuff doesn't work or how well it works.
Yeah.
People with disabilities.
And I would say even beyond businesses, the construction companies or the architect firms, whoever's designing the building,
engineers.
Yeah. Be like, hey, you guys are building how many McDonald's restaurants or how many whatever, you're the go-to person that people are coming to build restaurants or office spaces or whatever. Let's stop it now.
The thing is, most people don't care. They're just trying to do the minimum of what they legally have to do.
Yeah.
So
I also think knowing creates caring. And so I think sometimes people think like they may not be uncaring people, but they may think that doing the legal requirement is doing enough, because they may think, well, they must have written the law to cover everything.
Right.
So if you haven't experienced it, then you're just going, well, this is what they say we need to do. And I know there's things like that I've experienced where I'm like, okay, well, this is what I'm told I'm supposed to do. And then when I actually do it, and then later when I actually live through it, I'm like, oh, this is not inclusive enough. And I look back, it's like, okay, well, I wish I knew that when I was doing this thing in the past, but
Well, you know, you learn, and it's like, even like, see, before I had Andrew, even way after, when Andrew had his first aneurysm and was in a wheelchair all the time,
yeah,
was the first time, even though I've worked with special populations for many, many years, it was the first time that I was solely responsible for someone in a wheelchair going all different places. And just how hard, and the first wheelchair they gave me was super heavy, and that is why I have a bad neck right now. But just how often, like, I'd struggle with the door and people just walk right past me, and here I am with this
yeah,
kid and this door and this wheelchair, and just like, I just couldn't believe, I was like, I never had any idea how hard this was.
yeah,
And so, you know, I would have been just, I was just an ignorant person till I was the one pushing someone in a wheelchair.
yeah. And it's like I've learned a ton being closer to you, and also my parents are aging. My mom uses a walker, and when you're walking through that experience side by side with somebody, start noticing all the little things that, like a thing that I notice a lot with my mom is there's a lot of places where there's a handrail on one side of the stairs but not the other. And if your dominant strength hand is one side, well, that's great when you're going up or down on the one side, but when you're going the other direction,
Mm,
now it's not helpful.
right. Yeah.
And it's just things like that where you're like, yeah, sure, there is a rail and the box is checked, but especially when you're at like a doctor's office or a place where you know people are coming and going and are going to need those services especially. But
Yeah. Hospitals, I will say, are the best. Like, you know, you can pee easily in a hospital.
right,
They
yeah,
really are. Just like, that's what the standard should be. Like,
mm,
go look at a hospital bathroom, you know,
mhm.
or
The elevators are big enough, and
oh yeah. Well, I guess I got that to look forward to, is getting gas today. I'm gonna try to get someone. I'm gonna try to go. I don't really know that these gas station workers are gonna be that thrilled about helping me. So we'll see. We'll
yeah.
see how it goes. I'll report back.
Okay, well, you have my number if you need any help.
Maybe I'll at least record the call into the business. Can you come out and help me?
Yeah, can you come pump my gas for me?
Well, that'll be fun. What are you doing for the rest of the day today?
I have a little video I'm working on. I need to upload. I need to do some laundry because apparently, well, I either need to do laundry or go buy more underwear. So odds are still out on how that's going to play out. But yeah, I'm getting down to the end of my clean pile. So, and I like to just, I have the laundromat downstairs at the bottom of the complex. So I just like to let it do it all and then do one day where I just do like 4 loads and get everything.
Mhm.
So so that's where I'm at today. So I need to do laundry, need to run some errands. I'm gonna go grocery shopping for my parents and for myself because I need some food. And then I got Toastmasters tonight. So
All right, well, enjoy. Well, at least you have already done scrutiny, so you don't have to time anything around that later on.
no, I suppose not.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
I'll be back at work next week, so it'll be our usual time.
okay, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing your you, I guess I never really noticed a difference when you get your lashes and stuff done, but you probably see it.
I can see it. They're pretty good right now, except over here. So,
Okay.
all right. Bye.
Bye.